step by step, but first things first. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here, and today I'm marbling papers with acrylic paints for the first time, y'all. So the deal is, there's plenty of videos on the YouTubes, all right, but you have to watch mine because you love me. So anyway, you want to mark the back of your paper that you're going to be using with a little X or other symbol of your choice. I would use a pencil that's erasable. Okay, I mean, might as well. So we've got all our backs marked, and we are going to take our alum solution. In the description box, it tells you how much, and right off the top of my head, I don't remember. I think it's 2 teaspoons in a quart of water of alum. Okay, and this is not the cooking alum necessarily. I guess I could put a link to where I got it on the Amazons. Anyway, not an affiliate. Okay, I get nothing from Amazons except what I pay for it. And my secret internet admirer sends me. Thank you. Any hoodles, we are brushing that on. Speaking of secret internet admirer, send me some of those little brushes like that. Very handy dandy. So, now we're stuck on a screen. What are we doing? There we go. Just getting another paper. I'm showing you. I'm checking to make sure that's the X is on the back of the paper, and I'm drenching the front. Okay. I heard that you could spritz this on with a little spray bottle. I don't know. I brush it on. Did I cover absolutely 100% of the paper? I don't know. Oh, I'm using cardstock and just regular copy paper, but it's the legal size, so it's longer. What is that? 11 or 8.5 by 14, something like that. Anyways, I also have a couple of pieces of deli paper because I thought, why not? I love my deli paper. I have a little bit of it. So those papers are drying nice and flat, all naturally. So we're going to make a comb so that we can comb our paints, to get that kind of wavy, marvelly looking thing, if we're lucky. So I'm using toothpicks and a piece of corrugate cardboard. And I'm just sticking them on there. I have not measured for spacing. I'm not paying that much attention that they're all exactly the same length on there, the bottom side. And I am using my Aleene's Original Tacky Clips, my favorite. Any hoodaboodles. We're scrooching that on, and we're using lots of toothpicks. Now, I've made these particular ones to fit my, is it a cookie sheet? Anyway, it's a cooking pan, for the oven that's got a lip around the outside of it, okay? I guess you could use it to make a roll-up cake thingy. I don't know. Anyway, we're doing this ad nauseum. I do not show you both of them because I make one for the short side of the pan and one for the long side of the pan, all right? And in a minute, we will fold or flip it over. And this is where I'm showing you that I'm measuring for my pan. That's my pan, y'all. It's purple. Anyway, this is the long one. Gosh, I hope I cut out most of that because that is just so tedious. Laying those popsicle sticks. I don't think they're popsicle sticks, y'all. They are toothpicks, cocktail sticks even. If you could use a comb. I mean, why not? A regular hair comb, or a hair pick, like you pick your hair out with when you got curly hair. Anyways, smooshing them all on there. I think they're pretty even spaced. But, that's as exact as I am. Some of them's crooked. I'm like, well, how did that happen? Because I was holding it crooked? I don't know. Oh, goodness, with the toothpicks. Cocktail sticks. whatever you call them. They're picks. They're little wooden, they're the round ones. The round ones are stronger than the flat ones. Just saying. In my toothpick experience. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Not that one, evidently. And not that one. You can see they are not perfectly straight. So now we're putting a bunch of glue on the other side because this piece of corrugate folds over. I would suggest that you use a double side. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to fold over, but you want to put another side on there because you don't want to accidentally pop your toothpicks, cocktail sticks, loose from your corrugate. Okay, you can use faux chipboard if you want to, but I would I would double side. I recommend double siding. You don't want your cocktail sticks pop off as you're scrooshing it through your fancy water, because we're going to make thick water. Oh, that was very interesting. Those of you that cook in the kitchen frequently, you like do somewhat fancy meals. You might thicken sauces with cornstarch. Y'all, I'm a Southerner. I make gravy with grease, bacon grease, okay, flour, and milk or cream. Anyway, that's 3 cups of water, regular tap water, putting in my big old saucepan there. Got the fire going on because we want to bring that to a boil. That's a 1/4 cup of cold water. This cold tap water, y'all. And we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. I'm going to show you the box if I hadn't already showed you. See, just regular, whatever brand cornstarch. Okay, I use it out in the studio, not this particular box, but I have a box out in the studio, and I use it to put on my silicone molds and stuff when I'm going to mold, paper clay or whatever clay. So, just 2 tablespoons. You don't want your water too thick. Okay, you want just little thickish water. Now you mix the cornstarch in the cold water on account of it doesn't like to mix in hot water, which is why we're mixing a little over here on the side. Then when the water comes up to boiling, a rapid boil, a little bubbly boil, okay, we will put it in there. And we will stir it and stir it and stir it because we don't want it lumped, okay? So we're waiting. Oh, there will be a short blooper section towards the end, okay? I put the lid on because it makes things boil faster if you didn't know that, okay? So you see it's rapidly boiling. Now we're going to mix this in. I'm keeping it stirred up because cornstarch will somewhat settle. Okay, you want to keep it stirred up, and I'm just trying to get some of the extra out of my cup because, ignore the belly. It's with me all the time, and it's just part of nature. Anyway, we're stirring it around, and I thought, well, my hand's getting a little warm, so let me get a bigger whiskey thing. Not whiskey. Ain't no whiskey in here. Anyway, it's a whisk. And it's one of those silicone ones because, it's fancy. And I just keep stirring it. And then you actually cook this for 3 to 4 minutes. Okay? And it gets thicker like a sauce. Like a heavy cream-ish. Yeah, something like that. But you want to keep stirring it or steering it, depending on how you pronounce that word. And I'm keeping an eye. It's been 2 minutes. I'm keeping an eye on my little timer up there. That's what that little finger action's about. Yeah. So, like I said earlier, the alum that I used, I got from the Amazon. It is for paper marbling. I did not try to marble a piece of paper without the alum on it, because I saw videos and other people didn't put their alum on their paper. If for whatever reason, and it don't make no good sense to me, for whatever reason, the acrylic paint didn't stick to their paper. Okay? 3 minutes. I'm going for 4 minutes because I'm an overachiever. Anyway, because of the medication I'm on, I pretty well getting my timing down when I start getting wonky, too wonky to be doing stuff at the stove and that kind of thing. So anyway, I was doing this in the morning and I knew my timing, and I wanted, what did I get? I think I got 6 sheets of copy paper, 6 pieces of cardstock, and 2 pieces of deli paper, and I figured I would pretty much be done by the time I got those done, which is what I did. And you want to keep stirring because you don't want this to get lumpy. You don't want lumpy sauce, and you darn sure don't want no lumpy gravy. All right, unless it's sausage gravy, in which case the lumps would be sausage. All right. So, I thought it was important that you see the whole thing. Now, it is sped up. Portions, most of the video is sped up. So now you want that to cool. Not necessarily get cold, but you want it to cool because you don't want it hot. So here I am mixing my paint. Now, I'm just using regular old craft paint, which is already somewhat liquefied, okay? And I'm putting just a little water in there, and I'm thinning it down to about the consistency of milk. She needs some milk. So anyway, there is a list of ingredients in the description below the video. Click on the ... more to see more information. All right. So we're just mixing up the different colors. I have these little cups. I think pickles came in them. Sweet pickles. Sweet little gherkins. Oh. Anyway, tiny bit of water. Mixing it up. I think that one's a color shift paint. And we do this. I don't know how many colors I use. Several. Okay. Several colors that I thought would be friendly with each other. Now, here's a suggestion. I would make 2 batches of the thick water, okay? If you plan on doing a lot of marbling or more than a dozen papers, okay? My kind of papers. Anyway, on account of once it started getting dirty, it was dirty. You could see it's pretty soupy. Now, mine set overnight and I reheated it, so I got a few little lumpy chunkies in there. So, anyway, here are my combs. Then my pan. Now, I also saw a couple videos. No, I don't know specifics. I'm sorry. I watched a lot, and I am on medication these days. Anyway. They said to add a drop or 2 of ox gall liquid to your little paint cups. All right. I couldn't find my dropper and I got impatient, so I just started. I'm like, well, I can do this. Some of them got a drop, some of them got a little more than a drop. It's okay. The reason the ox gall allegedly, I've never used it before, allegedly keeps the paint wetter. It's like an extender, I guess. I guess I could have used extender. I have extender already. I did not have to buy this from the Amazon. Well, I got it from the Amazons at the same time I bought the alum. So, there we go. Anyway, I don't think it was too awful expensive. And I'm not sure what kind of art. Is it watercolorists may use it? I don't know. So I'm putting, dropping, I had a bunch of little brushes over there, and they were already damp. I pre-dampened my brushes with water. Not wet, damp, okay? It helps wash acrylic paint out of them when you start with them damp and not dry, okay? So, now as you can see, I'm I've got the paint colors pretty well spaced out, and I don't know, these people that I saw, they touched the little drip of paint onto their thick water, you know. Now also, just so you know, I saw one person do it with liquid, I'm going to say fabric softener, but that seems kind of wrong. It was either fabric softener or liquid starch. I don't remember which, y'all. Instead of making thickened water, that's what she used. And I don't have that, so I just clicked away from the video. I'm sorry. Anyway, so here I am using my comb, and it's okay. I'm like, well, that looks all right. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm like, all right, where's our paper? Make sure your X is facing you, and you want to tumble your paper like that so that you set it down in the middle. It helps to avoid bubbles. Who knew? Well, some of y'all probably knew. Anyway, and this is the cardstock, and it's getting kind of wet here. And then when you take it out of the pan, you drag it across the edge of your pan. That's not too bad for my absolute very first paper marbling. And I'm like, well, let's see, just pick up the extra paint with this here piece of deli paper. I made sure my X was facing me, and I'm pulling it off, and there is nothing, absolutely none of that paint stuck to that deli paper. You can if you want to, but you're not going to get nothing. I'm like, well, so I squish all that around, and now we're just going to, you know, I will eventually get the ox gall in all my colors. And I don't show you all dozen of my papers, okay? But I show you a few. Now, I figured out for me, okay, because for you might be different, that if I add just a bit more paint, I got more colorized results, okay? Now, if you used the paint that comes in the tubes, you know, your ratio is going to be a little different. You're still only going to use a drop or two of the ox gall, all right? Because in one of these, I used the basics, Liquitex Basics Gold paint. So it was a little, you know, a little bit more water. Now, when you see the photo montage, because there will be a shortish photo montage, you cannot see the shimmery effect that I got from the gold. Now, some papers had little goldies on them that you could see in real life. I don't think it comes off on the camera. Okay, here we go. It's another piece of cardstock. Rolling it in. Anyway, there is a rinsing process too, which we'll get to in a little bit. Anyway, the color shift added a lot of shimmer. The gold added a lot of shimmer. Boy, this is a pretty color. Anyway, could you use washes? You know, your old acrylic paints that you turned into washes? Sure, why not? They will be a weaker pigment, so you got that. There's the gold. It's gold. Anyway, just dribbling it on. I am fairly happy with my first try at marbling with acrylic paints. This is not one of those kits. This was something I did all on my own. It was a process. I will not lie. This is black, y'all. You know, because you got to pre-treat your paper. It's got to dry. You got to make your thickened water. You know, it's got to cool. You got to address your paints, you know, so they'll be more liquefied, you know, kind of stuff. There are marbling kits out there. I have not tried one. This makes me interested in trying one. But I don't know. like I said, I'm pretty happy with my, it is something that takes practice, y'all, just saying. Could you do this with the shaving cream? Well, sure you could. Are you going to get the same results? I don't know. Anyway, I'm putting the deli paper on it because I'm like, I want to pick that paint up. But, you know, the paint doesn't pick up. What it does, this is just my opinion, and I really don't know what it does. It sort of works itself into the thickened water. And my thickened water may be too thick. Okay? I don't know. Next time, I think I will try just a little bit thinner, thick water. Y'all, that is so weird to say, think in my head. So, we are just going along. And at the reason I was saying, did I mention? Well, I did say next time I would make a second batch of thick water, because once it starts getting icky, it's icky, and your papers will come out looking dirty. Now, when you go to rinse it off, don't rub it, just rinse it, okay, with a very light flowing water. I have a sink in my studio, so that was very convenient for me, okay? And I also had a bucket. I keep a bucket in my sink because I throw my water out in the yard. I know people who throw their paint water and such on a piece of corrugate out in the yard. That way the yard gets the water, but the acrylics and stuff stick to the corrugate, okay? Anyway, that's what I do with mine. I throw it out in the yard. So eventually we will do, did we do a regular sheet of paper yet? The copy paper? Oh, here's one now. Now, I did not put any more paint on there. I'm like, well, let's just see if we can see how that one gets nice. You can see the bubbles through it. And you just got to be careful because it's delicate. Now, you can't see anything on there. That's a different sheet. This is when it starts getting icky. See, I just barely got it running. I'm rinsing it off. You want to be careful, because it'll tear and you lose corners and you get little tore spots. See, I'm finishing up. You can see my little paint cups in the waters. Okay. Now, I am speeding through. So, here we go. Here we go. Just rinsing it off. Okay, I got real quiet for a minute there. I was fascinated with what I was doing, rinsing that paper off. I'm trying to get the thick water off. That's what you want to do, okay? Because you don't want it to dry on there because your paint will stick to it. Then it will brush off. You don't want that. So here we are. We're showing them off. They're not horrible. I think they're usable. You know, I like painted papers anyway. Don't you? Anyway, this one's really pale. That's the one that's got the color shift on it. Oh, y'all, there's sparkle in this in real life. But I'm trying to show you. Can you see the parts that look sort of silvery? Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, like I said, and I may have too many toothpicks in my comb. I don't know. I think my water was really just a bit too thick. But I'm pretty happy. It's something you need to practice. Just saying. That's when I figured out more paint. Okay. Yep. I'm trying to show the shimmer. And then this was the one that I just cleaned off the top of it. You know, because paint sinks, I guess. And then this was a cleanup one. I think it's very interesting. This is where it starts getting muddy after that. It just did. But it's still a usable paper. And I'm showing you the back. It pretty much didn't bleed through. I'm I'm pretty happy with them. And then that was the last one, almost the last one. And I just wiggled the pan back and forth and got that little swirly stuff. And then that was the last one. And coming up are the 2 pieces of deli paper that have absolutely no paint on them whatsoever. Get ready for the blooper. The camera fell when I was in the kitchen. Oh, Abbott. I didn't see it for a minute. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I gotta pick it back up. Molly's looking at me. Okay. Here we go. And fanning them out. Get ready. Y'all know what's coming. Thanks for sticking around with me, y'all, and spending time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Gotta fan them out. Gotta see them all. Photo montage coming. Hang on. Ta-da! Photo montage. Y'all, it was a process and time consuming and somewhat drippy messy. I might do it again. I don't know. It's definitely cheaper than the spray paint floating marbly kind of papers. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you. Got comments, likes, subscriptions, and shares. Click the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.